The first game's going to be on Andromeda again. Seems to be a pretty popular pick for this group. We didn't really, we saw it a couple of times in Group A, but I mean, I guess it's one of the more standard maps in the pool. Someone saying this Liquid Drone actually has an entry in Pimp as plays, and he
That's
qualified for
fantastic.
TSL2. So I mean, it's going to be a tough fight for Probe1 here. He's going to have to step up his game a bit, but I mean, you don't know. We haven't seen Liquid Drone play for a long time, so I mean, we'll have to see how he goes, and I guess we'll just get started into this game. So, game 1 of Liquid Drone against Probe1.
I really hope Probe1 has an effort. Probe1 is the red Zerg in the bottom right, and Liquid Drone is the purple Protoss in the top right. And I think purple Protoss is pretty much how you know you're in good shape. I mean,
I'm just so happy that it's not a ZVZ.
I love
Is
ZVZ.
the rule-
Everywhere ZVZ is
is
the
the-
best.
Is the rule that you have to disqualify both players if it's a ZVZ?
Yeah, I think so. I think that if people actually make a Sid through a ZVZ, they should be disqualified from the tournament. I think that's actually a fair enough rule.
If they make a what ZVZ?
If they make a Sid through a ZVZ, then they should be disqualified.
I feel like I'm the only person. I love ZVZ. I think it's great.
You've been spending too much time with Harem, basically, is what's going on here. Because Harem's the only person I know who actually likes Zerg vs Zerg. So
think
you've
it's
actually
brilliant.
you are Harem, and you've been Harem all along, and it's like this big kind of epic troll, or you're actually, I mean, someone's hit you in the head or something. I'm not quite sure, but I guess we'll find out. But someone else saying they like ZVZ, you're wrong.
Yeah, Karam Jalen.
Karam
Is not choosing
Jalen,
to
you're
pronounce
wrong.
this.
You're actually just wrong. Like, I mean, Zerg vs Zerg, and like from like professional games, fantastic. I mean, it's interesting to watch because it's like this dynamic, super heavy micro thing. But in games where anyone in the game is like D rank, it's just terrible. It's such a bad matchup. And in this case, I'm going to estimate Probe1 is actually is D rank. Interestingly enough, Liquid Drone playing Protoss here, so obviously knows the disqualification rule that we just put in. Once again, people in this group can time travel. There's no other explanation.
Forge fast expand against 12 patch.
Interestingly enough, putting down the
Or
cannon
sorry, 12 pool.
instead of sending out a secondary scout, so... but, you know, it actually would be necessary here, I think. Was this a 12 pull, or was this a overpull? I wasn't
Yeah,
actually...
it was a 12 pool.
Alright, so, I mean, 12 pull
Matches up
with a
there.
cannon first. I feel like the Zerg has a slight advantage here. It's not something that would be particularly noticeable, but, I mean, if we want to get really, really, you know, number crunching here, I think the Zerg has a slight economic advantage. 12 pull isn't particularly common in ZVP, though, so... But I mean, the problem with Forge FEing on this map, in my mind, is that it's really tough to kind of get a wall properly. I mean, there's really no way that most of the space is going to be covered here. But luckily, the cannon itself does protect the ramp as well.
Well, this is exactly what we said last week, was that almost every time we saw someone play here, the wall was horrific there.
Does that?
And I suppose...
I'm pretty sure this wall doesn't actually wall. I mean, it walls. Yeah, it doesn't wall between the gateway and the forge. There's a big gap here, and the worst thing that can happen is that Zerglings run past and they just run behind the natural and start. I mean, Zerglings could attack this nexus without the cannon being able to do anything about it. So if Probe1's on the ball and just like runs Zerglings in, he could potentially snipe that
And those
expansion.
probes are not actually completing the wall, they're just kind of hugging the cannon, I guess.
Well, maybe
Case of a
it's like a
big
cannon
wing all in.
support group or something like that.
But instead, Probe is just taking the mid only, so he's, you know, going up to near 3 bases early. And he's got his layer on the way. So, like, given how much Drone has invested in getting that natural up and running, he's not in terrible shape.
Yeah, alright. So, Lair's on the way. Cybernetics Core just started from Liquid Drone, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Probe1's strategy is going to be here, because I think we have to say he is the underdog in this situation by no stretch of the
wide
imagination.
margin.
And I mean, I would expect him to do some kind of cheese, and the fact that he hasn't, he's decided to expand to the mineral only instead of doing an expansion to, say, another natural, says to me that he has some kind of 3-base pressure in mind. I mean, I know
I
that...
assume he's just going straight up to 3-base Muta. I mean, given how quickly the layer came out in terms of the layer timings.
I don't like Mutalis here, but you're right. I mean, he would have had the Den down by now. Unless he is doing a high brush. Which can be effective as well. I mean, cracklings are actually really good. I mean, I don't know if anyone's mentioned that recently, but they're actually just, like, really good.
No, they're super additive. They're
I'm pretty
really
sure,
excellent.
like, the only way that Protoss really deal effectively with them are Archons or Storm. Anything else is... Yeah, I mean, even Reavers, like, you think Reavers would be fantastic,
First
but...
Celeb is in the mineral lines for the natural now. So he's just walked directly around that sunken, and now you can attack the right-hand side of that mineral to the natural pretty much with impunity. Like, there's not much that can stop him.
So pretty
Probe1
much...
droning so heavy. He has 2 Zerglings.
This is what I was saying Probe1 should have done to Liquid Drone, but Drone turning it around. I think this must be... I mean, Liquid Drone is he's a Zerg player, right? Like, normally, I would assume? Or... And he's called Drone, right?
Well,
But I
Probe1
think-
is called Probe1.
Or is he actually... Is he
If
actually...
my memory serves me right, he was actually random.
He was random.
Can
Oh,
Can I
okay.
just say, for the sake of it, we are watching a Zerg player called Probe1 fight a Protoss player called Drone. That's kind of nice. There's a certain...
Probe's Drone attacking Drone's Probe.
Yeah, exactly.
Can that happen? Can they actually just send out a Probe and a Drone to attack each other?
Oh, big lag.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's where we lost
So
Sadist.
Joel... No, I've got to drop something for you.
Oh.
Wait, say
Right,
this.
I'm back.
What's your drop
No,
ship?
we're back. But I saw Sir Jules then. But
Uh-oh.
we're
It's
back.
okay. I'm pretty good at lagging. Like, I put a lot of practice into it.
So, I mean, the fact that you know Liquid Drone is legit, it's the fact that he's going Ser Reaver on this map, which is the correct build. And he'll probably want to get an expansion to the island base pretty early on to get a nice economic advantage. And it's going to be tough for Probe1 to really attack that, because, I mean, he'll have Mutalis, sure, but when you have a nice amount of +1 Corsairs, Mutalis are pretty much worthless, unless you can get a really good Scourge around. And Corsairs managing to get away from the Scourge here. And a lot of cannons coming up
I'm
too.
impressed by Probe. Like, I mean, we look at Drone and we say he's doing a real build and he's doing everything right, but Probe has gone straight up to 3-hatch Muta. He's got the Scourge out to deal with the Corsair. I mean, it hasn't worked yet, but like they're there. Like all the parts are in the right place. Just kind of curious to see how it works out.
He's getting +1 attack. So
And so is
this
What's
is what I would like to call the SC2 effect. Because this is what you do in SC2. You get +1 attack on your meters, right? Like that's...
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is why he's I think he's doing so well. Like his economy is doing well. Like he's actually making
he's
drones
just gone
mining
straight
from all
up
3
to 80
bases.
drones.
Yeah. He's actually just doing an SC2 goal.
Fair enough.
Well,
Fair
at
enough.
the same time, Drone has just shuttled Probe across to a 3rd location, that little isolated 3rd at the 12 o'clock. So, or sorry, that isolated kind of expansion of 3rd at 12 o'clock. Probe is pushing in with the Scourge, and he doesn't land well on
Yeah.
so it's unfortunately.
This is going to be really unfortunate if this base gets up completely. I mean,
untouched.
I think Probe1 has enough to maybe just contest the Corsairs right now because he has a few Scourge and he has Mutalis behind them. Could
His
potentially
force
have
is 2
stopped his
Scourge heading in the
base,
right direction as well.
but
They miss.
but yeah, he has
Both moves,
switched into Hydralisk now, so I mean those won't be able to really do anything at all about this base. So I mean, Liquid Drone is at a fantastic position right now, and with the Reavers coming out.
more and more Corsair.
With Reavers coming out, I don't know what these Hydralisks are really going to be able to do, and I think that Probe1 really needs to start expanding.
It's only worse because Drone is adding his shuttle speed, so when the Reaver comes out, he loses
All of his
one
Mutalisks.
or
Pretty
two
much.
Corsairs.
He lost
But
one
he-
Corsair, but he killed all the Mutalisks.
Well, we're focusing on the positives here. He killed the Corsair.
Alright, so
And the Hydralists are out.
Blood has been spilled on the battlefield. Corsair blood, perhaps Mutalisk blood, but we didn't really see that, so I mean, it's no big deal. And there are a fair few Hydralists out, so I mean, the Corsairs aren't really going to be able to get much done, harass-wise. Perhaps maybe picking off an Overlord here and there, but I think the real threat is going to be the Reavers. Because once these come out, when trying to defend against Reavers, it's just really tough. I mean, you can see he's got Hydralists spread out with the intention of trying to shut down harass, but if you can drop 2 Reavers somewhere where there aren't many Hydralists around, suddenly just like everything dies. Like, they're really, really good units.
At the same time, like, Probe is floating minerals, but he has a macro hatch up. Like, he's not in bad shape in terms of his production. It's just that he's soon going to find himself criminally supply blocked.
He just,
The
lost...
Corsairs are falling.
He lost a couple of Corsairs, but he killed a lot of Overlords there. Kind of using the terrain against Probe1.
And knowing that Probe1's not like the underdog, I think he just knows that this is going to supply block him for a long, long time. And even those Overlords coming out won't be...
Okay,
Yeah, but even they...
Interesting, in the top left, Liquid Drone is actually... He's cannoning, to take an Expo, right? But at the same time, Probe1 is just expanding.
Fantastic.
So basically, once that Robo comes up, he'll be able to just like walk the Reaver down and just kill the base for free. And Corsairs once again coming in from the side. I don't see the shuttle though. Oh, there it is.
And they're ambushed by the Hydras. He loses.
Shuttle's coming in.
Corsair.
Shuttle's coming in, and
Oh no!
Shuttle's running away, dropping Reavers behind the mineral line, and
You see,
drones die.
the Hydras are in exactly the right position to kill the Reavers or the shuttle, but they're just not moving. He hasn't noticed.
Alright, so...
I have to say, oh, here he is. He moves in, he picks off the Reaver? No, he's just gonna chill, I guess.
I
No,
think he's
just
gonna
something.
die to 2 Reavers right now. I mean, that's...
No, no.
Oh god. Oh, he's
Reavers
so
dead.
lucky. He had all of his drones stacked. That would have been brutal. But there is still
I
another
have to
Reaver.
say, one of my favourite little Brood War glitches is when the Scarab gets stuck behind something for so long that the little light in it dies, and you get to see what the little robot Scarab looks like under the light. That's probably my favourite moment in any Brood War game. Great.
Aw, that sounds like a really sad story. That sounds
It
like
is,
a Wally
yeah.
story.
I do love that, they're both, like, have they scouted one another's quiet expansions in the top left yet? Oh yeah, there's the pylon there, it's cannon rush those minerals.
Oh, Probe1. You poor bugger. So basically, looks like Liquid Drone is deciding to go pure Corsair Reaver, and he's getting Disruption Web as well. And +2 air attack. And he's already got +1 air armor as well. Like, these are going to be some really good good Corsairs. I don't agree with the fact that he hasn't actually upgraded anything from the Forge. I feel like he could get armor or shields and be, you know, relatively effective there. I'm not quite sure what Probe1 can do from this position though. He has like fuck all mining right now.
Torenhire has just pointed out that there isn't a single gateway unit out. Like,
he has enough Reavers to make like +1 armor worthwhile, I think. And single Reaver is destroying this base, as I predicted. Really, I mean, it's just bad, unfortunate for Probe1 that he decided to expand
secret
there.
expanded to the same place.
Yeah. And, oh shit, here we go, 4 Reavers dropped in the mineral only. Oh god.
Probe1 is building another macro hatch, but it's... I mean, he's still sitting on 1,200 gas. Like, oh, and the D-Web is beautiful.
Oh
That
my
is
god.
fantastic.
Oh my god.
I mean, like,
Oh, they
never
ran
really
out of
saw it,
scarabs. Whoops! This is awkward.
But the single Hydralisk that isn't under the D-Webs
Okay.
is going to pick it up a bit.
So I'm gonna just do a quick quiz. Let's guess which Zerg player in the THSL doesn't know how Disruption Web works. Any ideas?
Is it? Oh, no, I don't know.
Intrigue?
Close.
Yeah, it's probably Intrigue.
Close.
Not a proper Zerg player, you see, that's how you know.
Any other guesses?
This is... No, I can't. I've developed some kind of... I've entered a fugue state from watching this game.
doesn't move them. Has he not noticed? Has he not been like, hang on, my Hydralisks aren't actually attacking anything at all. This is weird, right?
Well,
I mean, there's no
doesn't have
equivalent. There's no equivalent for the disruption web in SC2 yet, so...
There will be in Heart of the Swarm.
Will there?
He probably thinks it's a flare effect.
And oh man, I wish that we had seen optic flares.
Maybe we will. Like, let's not get our hopes down.
There's still time. Actually, there's a shout out. Anyone who's made it through the next round, optic flare something, I'd be really happy.
Alrighties. Anyway, so basically, yeah, he still hasn't. He made that one zealot, so he is actually getting +1 attack now, which is weird because, again, doesn't have any gateway units, right? So +1 attack literally does nothing. He is getting the +25 attack damage for his Reaver's upgrade though, which is I think a good investment.
Oh, of course. I would get that now too. Like, it will be so useful at this point when you only have how many Reavers does he have?
A fair few. A fair few.
He
I think
has
it's at least 8.
Yeah, 8, and then the 2 on the ground is 10, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then 2 more
a
coming in
few.
left-hand side,
Let's
that's
just say
12.
a few. Oh wait, there's another shuttle over here. I think there's at least 10. I think maybe even 12 Reavers out on the map right now. And Reavers coming down into the natural. And in the
How many
main.
Reavers do you need to one-shot hatchery?
Interesting, he hasn't got the Scarab capacity upgrade either. I don't think. Oh my god. Everything is
I
dying.
can't believe he's still de-webbing things. It's just...
I think the most interesting part of these games is like, I think how confused Probe1 is. I mean, there's no way like a regular person hasn't GG'd by this point, right? So, I mean, Probe1 fundamentally doesn't understand how fucked he is.
He pushed the front again, and D-Web got all of the Hydralisks, and the Reaver was just fighting with impunity. And the problem is, there's no way, like if that happens to you in the middle of the game, what do you do? Do you just say, hey drone, I'm really sorry, do you mind if I pause while I Wikipedia what spell Corsairs have that I've literally never seen in all of my time watching professional Brood War? Because that could conceivably happen, like, he hasn't been watching Brood War that long. It's totally reasonable to assume he does not see D-Webs.
I guess. I mean, that's okay. No, fair enough. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll concede. It's actually completely okay that Probe1 sat there and watched his Hydralisk die while doing absolutely nothing. 100% fine. My question is, did he never actually read the back of the Brood War box?
Are you suggesting that on the back of the Brood War box it says, Dearest Probe1, please watch out for disruption effect, because in 8 years'
Pretty
time
much.
you're going to lose the tournament. Like,
I can still visualize the Brood box, and you had like the cover opened and you could see like the units and stuff. I remember that.